I really enjoyed a totally fun thing Bart will never do again, but I am so thankful I'm watching this now and not 3 years ago. This is the 19th episode of the 23rd season of The Simpsons. It's directed by Clements, and Bart really wants to go on a cruise. And the fact that he's unable to is actually making him really upset. So the family all sell important things so that they can afford this cruise for Bart. And they go on the cruise, and it's perfect. And I was genuinely watching it thinking, when's there going to be conflict? What's the problem? Because it literally went from one perfect thing to another perfect thing. It was so fun. It's beautifully animated. It's so creative. There's so much to look at. The characters are wearing different clothing. So visually, it's really engaging, beautiful design. I think they clearly had great fun designing this cruise ship, and that really comes across in the episode. And it was so perfect, to the point where I was thinking, well, what could possibly go wrong? And Bart decides to do something. And I'll be vague just now, but with a spoiler warning, I'll go into detail in a moment. But he decides to do something that will mean the vacation will never end. Because he's having the best time ever. Lisa's having the best time ever. Marge and Homer are. Not so sure about Maggie. But they're all having an amazing time. And he decides that he's going to do something to make it last forever. And there are disastrous consequences. And I thought, okay, this is where we're going. And it definitely took a direction I wasn't expecting. But I really enjoyed the episode. I'll talk more about what Bart did in a moment, of course, but there's a quote that I want to share, and it's a quote from Lisa. And this quote is, "The trick is to enjoy the few perfect experiences we're given in the moment." And that's what the episode is all about. You can't live your life like you're on vacation 24/7, try as we might. Life is difficult, life is stressful, but as Lisa says, well, she says the trick, but in reality, arguably, the purpose of life is to enjoy the things that we can enjoy when we have the chance. And I think that that's a really nice message and something really lovely to latch on to. And I think a really positive thing with this episode. However, the thing Bart did is so uncomfortable. So, spoilers from now, everything else I have to say, I'm going to go into detail with what Bart did. And Bart pulls a prank, a massive prank. So, huge spoilers. He pulls this prank where he plays this DVD, and it's a DVD about a pandemic. And in the DVD, the pandemic is announced, but he plays this on the big screen, and people on the ship think that it's genuinely announcing a pandemic that requires worldwide quarantine. And everybody on the ship has to stay on the ship because the world's being covered in this virus. And I just thought, ouch, that's painful. And had I been watching this 3 years ago, it would have been less funny and more terrifying, because I imagine a lot of people were in a similar situation. I mean, can you imagine being on a cruise, finding out about the pandemic, not knowing which country you're going to, how they're being affected by the pandemic? Are you going straight back home? Are you going to get home safely? Are you going to be trapped on a vessel in close proximity to other people who might also have the virus? I couldn't even imagine what that would have felt like, not being able to escape other people. So, yeah, definitely awkward. Worth pointing out, this is many, many years, a good, maybe not quite a decade before 2020, but I think 2012 this was released. So, quite a few years before the actual 2020 pandemic. Yeah, it was awkward. Had I watched this 3 years ago, it would have been even more painful, but I could enjoy the humour now. But it's still maybe a little bit too soon, I think. But it's a really good episode, I think, with a really lovely message. Very creative, very fun. The awkwardness aside, it was a real treat to watch, and it really kind of put me in a good mood, because yes, I want to, live every day. I mean, I don't, having said that, I don't have fun. I'm one of those people who will work around the clock because I feel like it's the best thing to do, when it isn't. And it kind of reminded me that actually life is about making the most of the opportunities when they come, because you never know when they'll arrive again. As we see with Bart, this is not something that's going to happen again and again. And I think that that's something we can all latch on to. Definitely make the most of the moments while you can, because life's difficult. So enjoy the things when they come to you. A totally fun thing Bart will never do again was definitely a good episode.